There's no question we're in the midst of a massive platform shift with the new generation of AI that's going to transform pretty much every sector, every category of computing. The entire history of computing has been about digitizing people, places, things, and making sense of them. In that context, we now have a new superpower. We have a reasoning engine that gives us predictive capability. We have a reasoning engine that will give us more insights. When we talk about AI, you can distill it into a more natural interface using natural language, a reasoning engine that works on top of all your data, giving you more power. Every software category, as we know of it, is fundamentally going to be transformed by these two changes in the platform. Now, of course, it's going to create a massive platform opportunity, and we've seen this before, whether it's the PC server, the web internet, mobile cloud, have been massive in terms of all the sectors of the economy. There's no question the opportunity is tremendous. Now the question is, what happens next? Believe me, we've been hard at work over the last multiple years. We've built out this Copilot stack. And everything from the infrastructure layer all the way to the foundation, to how we manage data, how we think about the foundational models themselves, these reasoning engines that then reason over that data, the orchestration layer, which is going to be one of the most important middle tier pieces. It's not about autopilot, remember. It's about putting humans in the loop and designing it in such a way that the human is always in control with a Copilot that's powerful and helping them with every task. The Copilot ecosystem is what drives the AI advantage for us collectively, and really the AI advantage for our customers that we can deliver. So that's what's really exciting. We're going to have 40+ announcements, 40+ innovations, and I wanted to highlight 5 of them. The first is I am really thrilled to be announcing Bing Chat Enterprise. Like, this is the feature, this is the product, this is the moment in some sense that every CIO, CISO, business user has been waiting for. Give me ChatGPT that I can use with all the enterprise data privacy and security guarantees. And you have it now. With Bing Chat Enterprise, between Bing Chat Enterprise and the Microsoft 365 Copilot, knowledge work and knowledge workflow is going to be completely transformed. So to give you a little bit of a flavor for this, let me invite up on stage Yusuf Mehdi to show you a quick demo of all of this innovation. Yusuf?
Good morning, everybody. How are you? We introduced the new Bing, your AI-powered Copilot for the web. And the response has been nothing short of incredible. We've had over 1 billion chats to date. And since that launch, we've had literally over 100 new improvements and new features we've rolled out. And today I'm excited to introduce to you 2 of them: multimodal visual search and Bing Chat Enterprise that Satya just announced. First, let's talk about the new visual search. Leveraging the power of GPT-4, Bing Chat now accepts images as well as text. It'll actually analyze an image that you upload and give you insights and answers related to that image. Let's take a look. Now, I love architecture, and I want to learn a little bit more about the interesting details of a building that I've seen when I'm walking around. So I'll take this image and upload it, and it'll tell me, hey, this is actually a cartouche, and it can actually detect on the image elements like the presence of a map, which signifies the representation of the age of exploration. And there's a wreath of leaves that talk about the victory and sort of glory age of Roman and Greek inspiration from architecture. It's incredible. Imagine being able to take pictures of anything out there and then have Bing come back and tell you, for example, what an international adapter work in a certain country. It's rolling out today, and we can't wait for you to try it. Next, let's show you Bing Chat Enterprise, your AI-powered chat for work. I think this might be one of the biggest things that happens in generative AI this year. Since we've launched Bing, we've heard from many corporate customers who are clamoring for these powerful AI tools, but they're worried about their company data, that it won't be protected. In fact, some of these concerns from companies have actually led them to ban AI at work. Well, today, this morning, all that's going to change. Bing Chat Enterprise now delivers commercial data protection for your AI-powered chats. This means your confidential business data won't leak outside your organization. Your employees' data is not commingled with web data. Data is not saved. No one at Microsoft can view your data. And the chat conversations in Bing Chat are not used to train the underlying AI model. All right, you ready to take a look at how this works? Let's take a look. Here's Bing Chat Enterprise. And I can take full advantage of the power of AI to research and create. All I need to do is log in with my work credentials. And now you can visibly see that the experience has changed and that on every search and every chat, your data is protected. And you can see that Bing Chat Enterprise combines the power of GPT-4 with Bing search data. You get the latest and most up-to-date information. We also provide you the links, so if you want to go learn more about that information, with one click you can get there. You can now do all this with full confidence that your data is protected. And if you love what you can do with Bing Chat Enterprise, wait till you see what you can do with Microsoft 365 Copilot. It has all of the capabilities of Bing Chat Enterprise, plus so much more. Let's take a quick look here. I'm going to go in Teams now, and I can ask Copilot to access the information from a PowerPoint presentation to create a starting point for my written proposal. Notice how nice it is just to use these powerful AI capabilities within the flow of my work. I'm just in Teams, I point it at a document, and up comes this fantastic analysis. Microsoft 365 Copilot is integrated into the world's most popular productivity app tools like Word, PowerPoint, Excel, Outlook, and Teams. And as we shared at our initial announcement, there are an incredible array of new capabilities like automated team summaries, which I use every day now, which offer me a whole new way to work. Today, we unlock a new era of creativity and productivity as we bring the power of AI to work. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Yusuf. Multimodal chat, work identity, and the Microsoft 365 Copilot is fundamentally going to transform knowledge work as we know of it, and really exciting to see. Another third announcement I have is also related to business process. In fact, the most important tool that perhaps all of us are going to use is to identify the opportunity for how we drive that AI advantage to every customer. It's all about process mining. So I'm very excited to announce the general availability of the process mining tools in Power Automate. This is the tool chain that every one of us can use to be able to first map out the processes, sales processes, finance, human resources, everything that you can think of, which is a business process. And then optimize that business process with the power of AI, things that can be automated, where you can deploy copilots to give the human in the loop the advantage to advance the business process. So process mining is perhaps the tip of the spear for you to be able to then drive additional value to every customer interaction, every customer deployment, and every customer project that you are engaged in. Now, talking about the fourth big area of announcement is Azure AI updates. The first thing I want to sort of start with is OpenAI. We build the infrastructure to train their large models. They're innovating on the algorithms and the training of these frontier models. We innovate on applications on top of it. You all get to innovate on top of it. It's a very unique way for us to do things that are going to really fundamentally shape the world going forward. Now, today, I'm also thrilled to take what we've been doing with OpenAI and expand it to the next phase. The regional expansion of OpenAI APIs. We've now got more regional expansion in North America, in Europe, and for the first time, we're going to be able to deploy this in Asia. So we're very, very excited about all that's coming with OpenAI and what you all can do on top of OpenAI. Now, speaking about all of the AI innovation, the other element is Microsoft loves open source. And so one of the things that we are very excited today is the announcement of Meta's Llama 2 coming to both Azure and Windows. Now with Llama 2, it takes it to the next level, and we are going to bring all of that to both Azure And quite frankly, one of the most exciting things is to see these models even being optimized for Windows so that application developers now can take advantage of both the frontier models of OpenAI as well as the models that are available in open source to be able to transform every software category there is. So my last announcement is around the partner program.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to partners watching all over the world. I'm really excited about our Microsoft AI Cloud Partner Program and all that we're going to do together to really help customers embrace what I call AI transformation. I want to build upon a slide that Satya showed a bit earlier, this notion of the Copilot stack, the Copilot ecosystem, and the AI advantage. Of course, we're really, really excited about all of the first-party assets we're bringing to Microsoft Cloud Services you know and love, and all of the new generative AI capabilities we'll have there. But honestly, that pales in comparison to the value that we'll be able to add together. Because at the end of the day, AI transformation is about solving for the business impact and applying technology to help customers achieve more like never before. We're bringing generative AI to all of the Microsoft Cloud Services you know and love. And I'm going to show most of those to you here in just a moment. And I'm going to ask you to sort of play along with me a little bit here. I'm going to use a metaphor I like to call selling to all rooms in the house. So why does Judson like to talk about a house? Well, here's the reality of the situation. Customers are not monoliths. Anybody who tells you, well, the customer really wants to do X or the customer really wants to do Y, slow them down, ask them a few questions. Who within the customer wants to get that done? Because there's probably multiple key stakeholders, multiple lines of business. Companies are made up of individuals, all trying to find their own career path, all trying to leverage technology to get the best out of how they think about achieving more. And then there's teams and organizations and line of businesses and stakeholders. So AI changes everything. It effectively makes every room in the house new again, renovating the entire house with AI. So my house that I'm going to share with all of you here has a floor for each one of our solution areas, and behind every door is a new solution play, a new opportunity for us to go add value. So with that, I'm actually going to get started, and so much has been put into Microsoft 365 Copilot, and there's so much excitement out there. I like to start here. So when I show up on this floor of the house, I talk about how Copilots have been woven into the entire creativity portfolio. If you write documents and you're an author of materials for your company, we now have Copilots that can help speed up your work. There's no more first draft. In fact, your draft can be perfected. If you create presentations for audiences around the world, Copilot can help you make those more inclusive. They can help you wire in content that's more powerful to connect with your end users. And of course, Copilots have come to the world of teams and collaboration. So we're driving true inclusive collaboration like never before using generative AI, bringing people together across this floor we call the modern work floor. From there, I get invited to go talk to folks who maybe sort of own a line of business because we've unlocked value for an individual. So show me how generative AI can maybe make a sales organization more effective. And to do that, I'm going to invite my dear friend Charles LaManna on stage to show us all how.
I'm going to do a demo pretending that I'm a sales rep preparing for a customer meeting and opportunity. So Sales Copilot helps me always be confident that I'm ready and prepared for the meeting. So as part of that prep, I can go right inside of Outlook and I can easily see information about the opportunity, get a quick summary, as well as understanding what's top of mind for the customer. And every week I have so many meetings like this. This makes me be more prepared for dozens at a time without having to be worse at the meeting or having to spend a lot of time preparing. Now that I've gotten ready and gathered all that information together, I got to go build the presentation for the meeting. So I turn to Sales Copilot, which integrates seamlessly with Microsoft 365 Copilot, so I can get an easily personalized view inside of PowerPoint based on existing documents as well as all of my CRM data. So this combination makes it easy for me to have the perfect deck for that meeting. Turns out 2 Copilots are even better than 1 when you bring these things together. Now I got the deck, I'm ready to meet, so I go and I jump on a Teams call. So Copilot generates tips in real time to help ensure we have a great conversation. And when the customer references a competitor, it gives me real-time information about how we compare, helping me communicate why our products are the best. And once I've done that, of course, the call went well. I'm going to follow up. So I'm going to send a kind of action items and next steps. And Copilot is integrated right inside of Outlook, so it can help me author that email based on the meeting notes as well as information from my CRM. So with all of that set up, I'm ready to go and communicate with the customer. I just attach the proposal with the pricing and information, and it's in the customer's inbox in seconds. So in this example, Copilot saved me several hours of work for one customer engagement, which makes me more productive each and every day. And it turns out that about 2/3 of seller time is spent in communications and prep, and this helps use generative AI to improve all of that.
That's awesome.
And the two best things, though, is number one, Sales Copilot is generally available today, so everybody can get started with it. And the second is it works with all the leading CRMs, so Salesforce or Dynamics 365.
That's fantastic. Let's say I have a more generic problem, and I know a little bit less about where the messes in my house might exist. How might I use generative AI to explore more about my opportunities there?
So in this case, we turn to something called process mining. Like Satya announced earlier, that's now part of Power Automate. And what process mining does is it ingests data from your systems of record. So it can be Dynamics, SAP, Oracle, ServiceNow, you name it, we can probably connect to it. And it takes all that data and gives you a view of how your business actually runs. What are the common workflows and processes? And if I look at this view here, I've configured it to do something called procure to pay. So this is once you decide to buy something all the way out to when you actually issue the money.
Yep.
To the vendor. And if you look, there are a lot of steps. It's very complex, and it's not easy to understand where I could use generative AI here. But the good news is process mining also has a Copilot. So on this right-hand side here, I can ask the Copilot, what are the top insights that it has for me based on all the items that have executed as part of process mining? And I can see where is the common bottleneck. It's something associated with requisition approve, how many times it occurs in each time that it executes. And I say, okay, what's driving that bottleneck? Copilot can also help me with that. So it looks at that process information and uses a large language model and tells me I have an issue associated with compliance checks to preventing maverick buying. So that's my opportunity to improve and use Gen AI to improve the processes. So Copilot can also help with that. I can ask it to address my bottleneck, and it'll make suggestions for Power Automate and Power Apps. And I can look here, is this hands off to the Copilots there, so I can get a workflow to automate tasks, or a Power App to help me go and track these requisitions. And if you go to the future, by 2025, 70% of enterprise apps will be built with low-code tools like Power Platform, and process mining makes it easy to identify and bring AI to bear. Charles, exactly, awesome.
But I'd really like to unlock AI transformation for the totality of our organization. They use multiple cloud services, and I understand that the data has to get in order for me to get real AI transformation. So to show off what we can do there, I'm going to invite Amir Naz to the stage. Amir, how are you?
Great. How are you doing, Jetson?
So, how do we solve this data problem? We got data everywhere, multiple clouds.
So we are going to use Microsoft Fabric. Microsoft Fabric is the product that takes care of everything analytics for you in a unified platform. So everything from ingesting data to the data lake, all the way to delivering the information to the business user, everything in between, we do it in Microsoft Fabric. And since you have the data all over the place, both in Azure and in Amazon AWS, we are going to try to bring it all together. So let's take a look.
Super.
So what we're going to do is we're going to start building a lakehouse in the Fabric One Lake. It's very easy. All you have to do is give it a name, press create. In a couple of seconds, you have an enterprise-ready lakehouse ready to go. So instead, we're going to use shortcuts. Now, shortcuts allows us to link into data wherever it is. So we're just going to connect to the Amazon S3 buckets, point to the data that we have there, and within a couple of seconds, we have linked our lakehouse to the S3 bucket. So just like you have OneDrive showing in Windows Explorer, you have OneLake showing in Windows Explorer. And inside OneLake, you can see the workspaces that we have, the lakehouses that we have. You can see this is the marketing campaign asset lakehouse.
Super.
Now, to do the analysis, we need tables. And we're going to use the shortcuts again. So we're going to point to some Delta tables. Again, we have in Amazon S3. And what we have to do is, again, connect, set the setting for those tables, and within a couple of seconds, you can see the table show up here.
That's awesome. So we're not actually moving any of the data. We just have access to it no matter where it exists.
Yes, it's just linked. No data movement whatsoever. And we can now start running queries across the data. Now, most of our users don't know how to write SQL queries. So we are building them for them here, semantic models. And those semantic models include relationship between tables and measures. So the business users can use Power BI to just slice and dice the data very, very easily. So we have prepared the semantic model, and now we're ready to head to Power BI. So in Power BI, we have the Power BI Copilot. And what we want to do is to create this marketing analysis report. And all we have to do is tell the Copilot what is it that we want to create. And we give it the detail, like the ability to slice by the source of the customer and other things. And just like that, all we have to tell it, go, and a report is being created for us.
Awesome.
And it's really interactive, completely interactive. So you can cross-highlight, and you can filter perhaps by the customer source very, very easily. And so
I didn't even have to know Power BI. I just used Copilot to help create a Power BI dashboard.
Yeah, I wouldn't know how to create such a beautiful report. And it even ask Copilot to change the layout for me. You can see 2 columns now that we have laid that out. Now, we can do even more. Not just laying out the data, we can also ask it for the main drivers for repeat customer business, a more business-oriented question. And it will create a new page in the report, will put out AI visual, will tell us that if a customer purchases a spa visit, they're most likely to come back to our tail chains, which is kind of awesome. Now let's go back to the original page that we had. Ask Copilot to change the layout again. And this time we're going to point to another report, the sales report that we're using with our SLT. And just like that, it matches the styles of the reports. And it's still a completely Power BI report. So I can still have full control of what goes into it. So I can break it down by the customer interest.
Yep.
Or if I want, I can even change the chart type to make it look a little bit more snazzy. So let's make it into a ribbon chart. Okay, that's nice.
That's much better.
Yes. Now, last thing I want to do, I'm replacing the last chart and ask the Copilot to give me the best highlights from this report. And just like that, the Copilot analyzes the data, gives me 3 highlights, complete with citations, and these highlights are always dynamic. When the data changes or when I filter the data, they'll always reevaluate the highlights.
Super. I think I'm ready to go back and see the CFO. Now that we have the data estate in order, we get invited to one of the most important floors of the house, and that's the CISO's floor, where there's a lot of security analysts out there working on thwarting all of the bad actors. Unfortunately, if there's one thing that's not slowing down in this day and age, it's the rise of bad actors. And so Copilots can really actually help rationalize the CISO floor in the building, and we're going to show you how we do that. Olivia, come up on stage and let's show this off.
Now, resolving an incident that could take multiple specialists using dozens of different tools, spending days or even weeks of time doing so. Now, that just isn't realistic. So what we're going to see here is how Security Copilot is making investigation faster and easier for teams, enabling them to do more with less. Okay. From a simple natural language prompt like analyze incident, Copilot then suggests some of the highest priority active incidences that an analyst can dive into. So what we're going to see is how Copilot creates a plain English summary of what's happened. And this is based on trusted authoritative information like Microsoft Defender and log files. And then we're going to see down here below that there's even a diagram of the attack path as well. Now, some incident responses, they may require these specialized skill sets that not all analysts have called reverse engineering. And that's where we can look into a piece of malware to see what it does. But with Security Copilot, every analyst can reverse engineer with the click of a button here. So from here, Copilot's analysis of the code is showing us that the malware is trying to get to this group policy object using this ID number from this hidden folder. Now, these details can help teams find other affected devices and clean up. Analysts can also use Security Copilot to help neutralize active threats, and this is using the container prompt bug. So what we see here is how Copilot is laying out some steps for us. The first is to isolate affected devices. Next is revoking access for any compromised accounts. And then finally, of course, is to restore devices to a healthy state.
So it basically walks us through how to manage the threat.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So even with Security Copilot, even a junior analyst can then perform the most advanced research or investigation in just a fraction of the time that it would traditionally take us. And I'm excited to announce that this fall, we are going to open our early access program to our customers and partners who are using Microsoft Defender for Endpoint to experience Security Copilot for themselves.
So if that seemed like a whirlwind tour of the house and an awful lot of technology demos, it was. And that actually is very emblematic of all of the value that this partner ecosystem can provide to customers in AI transformation.
It's great to see that real use case directly applying a transformational opportunity in production today. So now let's shift industries to building industrial metaverse solutions, not only to build, design, and engage, infuse AI into those. If you're in consumer goods or manufacturing or energy, your house is likely a factory. So to show this example, I'd like to welcome Andy Pratt.
Okay, so today we're going to dive into the work we're doing with Ecolab. So if you don't know Ecolab, they are literally a world leader in water and sustainability solutions. But they also have like thousands of frontline workers who every day are going into these really complex industrial sites. So first of all, we've got to turn the physical world into a digital one. So to do that, we've partnered with Hexagon, who, among other things, have these incredible handheld scanners. So this allows me to literally walk around a facility. It's taking millions of laser measurements real time. It's taking photogrammetry. It's slamming it all together, and I get this incredible high-fidelity twin and representation of the space. So from there, we move into one of my favorite things, which is let's build out a full digital twin. So what I've got here is you can see this is an Azure digital twin. We've taken that scan, we've modeled it all up, we've simplified it, so we've just focused on the water processing facility here. But I've got all kinds of information I need now. I've got heights, diameters, pipe flows, but we've really got to start now bringing this to life. So I'll connect to the existing sensors, so partners like Rockwell and all the controllers, we can get the infrastructure that's already deployed. But actually, I often need to deploy new sensor fabrics. However, to do that, there is literally hundreds of different types of sensors. We've got thousands of different mounting points, and it can be a real complex problem. Now, I can directly on the digital twin have an AI agent supporting me in what type of sensors I should use, specific data sheets here coming in. I can get information on the correct mounting and mounting considerations. So all of this, having an expert at my hands, millions of technical manuals and documentation, being able to help me come up with the right bill of materials for the sensor fabric. So now we're packaging that up, we're getting that to the customer's hands, their sensor pack arrives, installation. Not always super straightforward. Again, we're leveraging our mixed reality capabilities here, basically taking the customer through exactly where to mount, how to mount, and getting the telemetry streaming. So we've now moved forward again. We have integrated the Power Platform here, and specifically Power BI. We've got our telemetry coming up with our industrial IoT assets. We've secured it all the way across with Defender, and now we're orchestrating edge and cloud with the Dark. So with all of this together, telemetry's live, the twin's coming to life, I can see notifications, I can get insights. Okay, so we've made some great progress, and we potentially have this predictive trend of increased water consumption. I want to dial into the areas that's potentially causing the concern. And here, I'm not entirely sure what's causing it. I can introduce the AI agent, I can go ahead and ask questions about what's causing this increased water usage, and right away, context from the telemetry, from all the different data sources. It's even highlighting the fact that it's actually a batch change. It's a change in what the facility's doing, and just very rapidly, we've gone from digitization to AI insights to capabilities, and we're helping a customer achieve sustainability.
You're essentially creating that carbon footprint. But if you can simulate that infinitely, in the cloud, you can build better product, a better process, more effectively, more efficiently, and ultimately more sustainably.
Absolutely.
Andy. So I think that gives you a taste. These outcomes are driven by our unique go-to-market strategy, which is a combination of our extensible world-class leading innovation, the largest sales force in the industry, and the scale of the Microsoft commercial marketplace. The Microsoft AI platform creates an unmatched opportunity to increase the success of everything we do together moving forward. Thank you for all that you do as partners with us.